Okay, Lateral Sounds, bit more love. The Spore. This is basically their first pedal. It's a bit. We'll get there. It's a bit more than a standard fuzz pedal. It's got sort of 3 gain controls. Technically, only 2 of them are actually gain controls. You've got the push and the pull. The push is germanium gain. The pull is silicon gain. You've got the bias control, which affects sort of how, I think it acts like a noise gate basically. So the more it's dialed in, when you're not playing, you have no sustain, the note stops straight away. Obviously, it goes pretty standard level tone, they're pretty standard throughout. And the spray control is the aggression of the fuzz, so it's kind of a gain control, because if you lower it down, you get really glitchy fuzz. And that little swirly symbol, that actually goes to where it starts to loop around on itself and sort of feed back into itself. It's pretty cool. Annoys your bandmates. So yeah, here's a clean sound. Sorry. And here's the Spore. Now this is kind of set up to be basically a clean boost. So you'll see that although this is a fuzz pedal, it can be a clean boost pedal if you need it to be. Obviously, not where many people would buy a fuzz pedal for it to be a clean boost, but it's there if you're on a gig and you didn't have a pedal that could do a clean boost. I mean, that's not completely clean, but it's nearest, damn it. To get more fuzz in the signal, you just lower the spray control. And then obviously you've got 2 sort of ways of adjusting it. You can pull up the germanium gain. Or you can pull up the silicon gain. Or you can push both and it gets a bit more glitchy. And when you've got a tone like that, if you push this bias up, I'll be able to not touch the guitar and not get any feedback. That's not muting, that's a completely sort of touch guitar. If I bang the guitar, we'll see if we get a bit of noise. You can get a bit crazy if you go too far up there. Obviously, if you back it right down, back it all the way up, you don't actually get any sound out of the pedal. It doesn't actually biases it. And then you've got this little special control. put it there, it basically makes the pedal go a bit nuts. Yeah, that's not sure entirely how usable that is, but it's pretty fun. So yeah, just sort of put it back to how I've been using it. And yeah, so that's the Spore. This one's actually sort of modded by John to be tuned for bass. So you can obviously have one that's tuned for guitar. I'm not entirely sure exactly how he does that. Obviously, you could ask online. He's a very nice bloke. But it's basically, obviously, it helps. There's a bit more bottom end. There's a bit more everything that sort of helps bass out, basically, to cut through. I think it's an awesome pedal. It's one of my faves. I mean, I've got a lot of distortion, but it kind of it's making me think. I'm you know, it's definitely there. It's definitely got a sound that's usable in my type of music. Obviously, not everybody uses ridiculous fuzz, but I think it's got a place. It's got that little edge that John at Lateral Sounds likes to put on things. It's a sick pedal. It's like the Root. It looks on the face like it's going to be a standard fuzz pedal, and then it sort of blows you away with how good it is. So there you go, Lateral Sounds Spore.